the living geeks.
This is Chie Satanaka, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. You better eat more meat.
Hello and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. To my side are my noble and hairy are Taylor Hoyt.
I choose you, Nikachu.
That is different. And Connor White.
What's up, man?
What's up? See, can't you just make a normal one?
Nope. It's always got to be dumb or repetitive or something else.
Haven't you heard of words like hello?
Or hi?
Or maybe howdy?
Or how are you doing? What's up?
Ohio.
Good afternoon.
Go jaimasu.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good. It's been a good weekend. I like this weekend. It's been very
Nice and cozy with the rain.
I don't know about that because it definitely feels like I'm in the token ice cavern dungeon, like in this garage right now.
We definitely are, but previously.
Freezing off my little piglets.
Yeah, it's pretty cold right now.
I was in the fire cavern with the heater on.
Oh.
Oh.
I was like, oh, a game we playing. Oh, you're being funny.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Well, going to the Japanese market, it was like 30 below in there.
Yeah, it was super free. Well, we were trying to get like the cold ramen, and so we were like in the frozen section, and we're like, dude, I need like some beanies and like some snowshoes in here, man. It's getting crazy.
It's like freezing.
Some snowshoes.
Got to play the little mini game in FF7. Just gotta keep my body temperature up.
There's just some like a slight like flurry of snow drifting like slowly from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Slowly collecting on the ground inside.
Well, like sometimes in grocery stores, there's like those little misters that water the vegetables. It's like that, but it's so cold that it just freezes midstream. It's just like little icicles that float
They
down.
just have snow machines inside the store.
That'd be pretty dope, actually.
That's how cold it was, though. Just in that area. But yeah, let's move on to some Japanese JRPG stuff.
I guess we have to.
I know, right?
We can keep talking about nonsense.
I mean, we are talking about a Japanese market. It's kind of similar.
So, guys, pizza or calzone?
I mean, calzone's a little too much for me.
You think so?
I think
Not gonna-
pizza.
I don't know. I feel like I lead the charge for the underdog calzone sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's overlooked, but I guess it is a lot of bread. It's basically just pizza with
it's
more bread.
definitely a heavy meal for sure. You got to be in the right mood for a calzone.
And it's got to be made right, too.
As far as just like random conversation starters that popped into my head, that was like a 3 out of 10. So
Yeah.
maybe we better just move on.
I mean, we rolled with it pretty good. I say we just like do that every episode. Just be like,
just have some debate about which food item is better.
it doesn't have to be about food. It could be
Correct.
any random thing.
Word.
Okay, we're going to do that now.
All the things that popped into my head to argue about are all very inappropriate things. So
Okay. Well,
let's stick to JRPGs.
Yeah.
it's something a little more
Let's
appropriate.
don't unleash Pandora's box. Yeah, so big news.
Box.
Yeah, Condorius's box. Big news. Lots of people sad. People crying tears all over the place. Persona 5 was delayed till April 4th.
Wah wah.
How I feel about this is like when you know Deshare Zone, Taylor. I'm
Yeah.
really about to drop a Deshare Zone
Nice.
reference right here. That meme page on Twitter. There's this meme they posted where he's like, it was right after like Trump had won, like the morning after, and he just posted a meme where like, I just woke up, like, why is everyone acting weird? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Guys? Like I wake up and everyone in the JRPG community is like weeping, and I'm like, is everything all right, guys?
Did I miss something?
Something happened?
Yeah, and it seemed odd for a lot of reasons. One, because the game's out in Japan, so it's not like you need to delay it to fix like bugs or something. But so they had this stream. They had this 3-hour live stream last week, and basically it was supposed to, just debut the English gameplay, and they played the game for about an hour, just dungeon crawling, showing off the combat. And
Did you
stuff
watch
like
it?
that. A little, not a lot though.
Blasphemer.
Yeah, I know.
Blasphemer.
Blasphemer. I am blasphemous for show. Yeah, so they delayed it. They said the reason was in Japan, they had really high expectations for the game, but it surpassed even their highest expectations sales-wise. So they said they want the English version to be the golden standard for their localization. So they are going back to the booth to record extra dialogue for sequences that are normally wouldn't have had dialogue. So to just kind of beef it up and make it better. So they're just trying to like, put the cherry on top of everything, put a little nice bow on it. So they delayed it, 6 weeks just to kind of
called it.
And I bet the a big part of it is like anytime you release something as huge as that, like I would imagine like in the time passing its release, like the following weeks, there's kind of like, man, I wish we did this different, or like that, or like,
right.
Man, this would have been really awesome. I wish we would have thought of that. And so like in this rare case, it's like we are kind of get a chance to like quote unquote redo it with like a second release like overseas. So it's like they can kind of be like, you know what, we can tweak this, tweak that, then use what they learned with the Japanese release and make it even better. And plus, of course, there's more things to consider with the localization and whatnot, like you said. But
yeah, well, it's interesting too. They said they hired on like, I don't know if it was temporary people, but they said they hired a lot more people to help work on the localization as far as like testing and just extra help. So they're really like going all out. And that was the sad news, but then they released a flurry of good news. The first being that they're going to have free DLC to have dual audio, which means that the game will have the English voices and the Japanese voices for the first time. They've never had this in a Persona game, which everybody always begs for and they never do it. But they're like, you know what? Now's the time. Persona 5 is life. It is hype.
Like Final Fantasy 15, right?
Yeah, 15 will have dual audio as well, which is cool. So they did that. They released for 24 hours a free dynamic Persona 5 theme and some avatars, which I grabbed. So if you find me on PSN, you'll see my little Ryuji avatar, and the dynamic background is actually pretty cool. It's like the characters and like the background kind of moves, and it's got different music and stuff like that. So that was pretty fun to kind of play around with.
Yes.
Goodies for the people.
Exactly. And it'll be playable at PSX. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I don't want to play it though.
I know. I don't, but I do.
I'll get on the sticks with you.
Okay.
I think like the only reason I would want to is to get the swag.
Yeah.
I want to get the swag.
I mean, so they're doing this thing at PSX. They did it last year, and they said they're going to do it again this year, where like every time you finish a demo, they give you like these little collectible cards, and they give you like a little trading card box. So I collected, just a bunch. I got a bunch of the Gravity Rush ones because I was really excited about that, and I got one for Last Guardian, so I want to get the Persona 5 one.
Word. I kind of picture like a little Boy Scout merit badge sash. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep picturing it.
Yeah, there you go. Just do a little sash and these little pins. Yeah.
Get your merit badges.
That would be pretty
fun.
fun.
Get that Persona 5 merit badge, then you could be a Eagle Scout or whatever the hell.
When I wear that Persona 5 bag, I can actually tell them, oh, the booth is over there, but there's no bag.
Are you going to bring it again this year?
Well, it held all my stuff last year.
Yeah, it's like literally like this giant. It's like it's supposed to be like a bag for like shopping, but it works as a backpack somehow, which is pretty great. So, I'm trying to think. I feel like there's one other thing they mentioned. The art was final or something. Like on the special edition, the art wasn't final, and now it's like final. Like who cares? So if you're really curious, you can go dig that up and see what the final art looks like now. But
Whoopee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taylor, how sad do you actually feel about this delay?
I mean, I really wanted to play that game like soon, but now honestly what this opens up to is now I can play Tales of Berseria. I can possibly play actually I'm not going to do that because of my backlog. I was going to say Resident Evil 7, but we'll see. But it just I don't have to rush other games. Like Gravity Rush 2 was coming out a month before that, and I want to platinum that game, meaning do everything. And now I don't have to rush. I can just kind of take my time and enjoy it and have a grand old time.
Mm-hmm. That's like having too many running backs, and they're all competing for touches, and then one of them gets hurt, and all of a sudden,
it's like, yes, all right, beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So a little bit of sads, but
you don't want them to get hurt, but it helps out. Helps. It eases the log jam,
right,
as it were.
The first time you told me the date, I'm like, ooh, a 2-month delay, and then I'm like, wait, no, it's at the end of January. It's at the end of February to the beginning of April. It's pretty much a month.
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
It's not too bad, and especially if they said, like they're doing it to like add more dialogue, because like sometimes you play JRPGs and like I was noticing this as I was finishing up Fire Emblem Fates, like there would be dialogue, but they wouldn't like have full. It's like, yeah, okay, I see. Instead of like reading the whole dialogue, Generics. It was like just one little line that happened to fit, So I think watching that stream, that's what they're doing for bits, not for obviously you can expect as much voice stuff from like what you saw in Persona 4, but there were still bits like that, so I'm assuming that they're going to go back and actually record all of that.
Didn't Persona 4 do that as well?
Yeah, they did it in bits, but there were like the main story sequences were like fully voiced.
Oh, yeah.
I wish like the social link stuff was fully voiced. That would have been cool. So I'm hoping they do that for 5.
Do you know if like this delay is pretty much like completely just for all these voice parts that you're talking about?
That's what they said in the stream. They said,
like, do you really even care? You know, it's like, would you rather have the game sooner? And like, I mean, are these voice parts really going to elevate the experience of the game so high that it's like...
I mean, I think it'll just, it's at 95%, it takes it that extra 5%, a little bit over the top. Like, would it be,
worth the wait.
I mean, I probably could do without, but I'm sure...
I think another thing is that there's a lot of stuff coming out in February, and I think they might have like said, hey, we could just delay it and we'll still get the same amount of sales.
Because really nothing, I think that's probably the furthest out game that has a set release date. Like, I don't know of any other game that has like a definitive release date that far out. Everything's just like spring or fall or never to be announced or whatever. So, yeah, it's a bummer. But, hopefully it's to make it better. So
yeah, but it eases the log jam, so you can focus on the big
focus on Berseria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so excited.
It's gonna be good.
I hope that game is bad, just so I could call it Tales of Worst Area.
Oh,
cool.
No, you can already do that with Zesteria, right?
Well, then you hope it's good, so you could say Tales of
Best Area.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm coming weak today.
But there's a little smaller news. A new Digimon game is coming. Was just announced, and it's coming out soon. So if you guys really are interested, I know Kyle Bossman really liked that Digimon game.
It's Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, which was sort of like a dungeon crawler Digimon game. People seem to like it. I mean, it wasn't like a smash success, but I'm probably sure it like made its money back, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, let's just do the other one. Why not? Type of thing.
And now it's coming out.
Yep. So
the last Digimon game I played was on GameCube, so that's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, if it's sounds like it's doing pretty well, I'm definitely give it a look because Digimon is a series I used to have much
love for.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
Cool.
So last episode, Connor said that there weren't many SRPGs on anything else until the 3DS.
Oh,
after the PS2.
I hear the accusational tone there.
I'm not, well,
I didn't hear.
We both.
we were. I mean, none of us corrected you in the moment.
I was kind of laughing because I was like, Taylor, you're supposed to correct me, right? Because you're the PSP game reviewer.
I know, right?
But yeah, I definitely didn't get that deep into the annals of PSP games. That's definitely a mistake on my part as a strategy RPG fan.
And we both
check those out.
Yeah, we also all have PSPs, and I didn't know why we didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a couple big ones, but so we were looking some up before the podcast, and some of them I had heard of, but they're like the niche of the niche. You know what I mean? Or I hadn't even heard of some of those. So you really have to dig deep if you want. There's obviously the Tactics remake and Tactics Ogre, and there's probably
those are the ones I got just because they were so I don't know, hard to miss, stuck out like sore thumbs. But also that era, the kind of PSP heyday, that's when I was at the height of my WoW playing. So that kind of usurped a lot of my JRPG playing. So thankfully things have kind of that has changed.
Yeah, that was my PS2 era. I started playing a lot of Unreal Tournament and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Counter-Strike, and I didn't play any PS2 games. That's when my JRPGs went down.
Yep.
And then PS3 came out, and I started playing on PS3, and then I started buying all the old PS2 JRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still have that backlog.
Still working on it, baby.
But yes, we do recognize the PSP's SJRPGs.
Yeah, if Azeroth, if you want to hit us with a follow-up comment, just tell me what you think the best one is, other than the big name ones like War of the Lions and Tactics Ogre. If I had to check out one that was kind of overlooked, I'd be interested to hear that.
And then there was another comment we got. It might have been the same person, I forget, but they said, somebody different. Okay, they asked if any of us had a Vita, since we don't talk about the Vita very much. And I'll say my favorite game of all time is a Vita exclusive, Persona 4 Golden. And and Nick is obviously a giant junkie for Cold Steel, Trails of Cold Steel, which is
Love Cold
which
Steel.
is a Vita game, or it's on Vita.
You just hit one of our listeners with a big time. Well, actually.
Well, actually,
Well, it's because it's also on PS3.
yeah. Well, Persona 4 is not. It's that golden. The golden one specifically is only on Vita.
And the person who commented was Shadow Maxim.
Okay, we'll make sure we got that name in there. So.
Shadow Maxim.
Yeah, I played a lot. I mean, not a JRPG, but I'm a big fan of that Rogue Legacy. So good.
Yeah, that's 72,000 hours.
Yeah, I have so many hours. I'm like, I beat that game so many times. I'm like, I just owe it to this game to get the platinum. And I just like dug into it, and it was insane. Like one of the trophies is you have to beat the game with dying 10 times or less. And like those types of games, you die like hundreds of times. So you have to like very carefully plan out what you're gonna do, and yeah, that was hard. I remember when I got the final trophy, I'm like, oh my god, it was insane. It's like probably the hardest platinum I've gotten, for sure.
Most definitely.
You know, I heard of a player-created mod for that game, actually, where you could play as a Shiba Inu instead of the little knight guy.
Really?
Rogue Legacy?
Seriously?
No.
Oh, dude, you got me all
I
excited.
was going to say, wow, much roguelike.
Much roguelike, a very ninja. Wow.
Someone mod that now. That'd be amazing.
Shoot.
I would have totally, because I have the PC version as well as the Vita
I
version.
should have just kept that going.
I
God damn
know.
it.
I would have gone home and like tried to find that mod, and it just wouldn't have been there.
That's
And I
And
was-
then
that's
and then
a serious missed opportunity.
Yeah, and then you would have called you and it's like, Connor, where is it, man?
Man, I need to screw with you guys more.
yeah.
I'm going to brainstorm. I'll get back to you on that.
All right. Taylor, out of
Connor,
all of
Nick?
us,
Yeah.
you've been playing Pokemon,
I have been playing the Pocket Monsters.
and you've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been good. So for listeners that listen to the LGG cast, it might be a little redundant, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it's...
Even though this comes out first.
That's true. That is very true. It is the biggest JRPG of the year, probably sales-wise. Like I was reading numbers that it had like 10 million pre-orders or something like absurd.
Yeah, purists may scoff at that fact, but the fact remains.
It is a JRPG. So I got the Sun version, and as we discussed on the last episode, I did pick Rowlet as my starter, which is the little leaf owl guy, super cute. And what?
Sorry.
Was that the wind? What was that?
I mean, it is raining outside.
Yeah.
What was that? The wind.
And so this game shakes things up a bit, Connor. First of all, no gyms.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Because I just bought the game and I haven't played it because of reasons, but I'm going to basically starting after this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so there's no gyms. The way it works now is there's 7 like island challenges, which might as well be gyms, but it's not like, okay, you go down this maze, you fight like 3 mini bosses, and then you fight the gym master. It's like, so I fought, the first challenge is you're in this like giant like cavern, and there's like these little tunnels that Pokemon are hiding in. You have to like find these Pokemon, and once you defeat all 3 of them, then you can like fight the cave master Pokemon or whatever.
So they kind of Taco Bell'd it. They took the same ingredients and they mixed it around and kind of...
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. Cool. But that's only the first one. It might get more interesting as time goes on. I've seen stuff like where you have to ride bigger Pokemon and like do stuff, so
Oh,
it
sounds
might
sweet.
get kind of crazy.
I'm
but
kind of disappointed I don't have like some expert breakdown to offer, like since it's the week of this podcast following its release. But yeah,
we'll
I
have
gotta
plenty
play a
more hot impressions next week for sure.
lot. That's right.
But
Sounds awesome.
no, it's cool. I love anything tropical, beachy, and stuff like that. So the island, the Hawaii, it basically is doing like a Hawaiian type of thing.
Yeah. Alolan.
Oh yeah. Alola or whatever it's
Alola,
called.
Alala, Alola, Alala.
Moana.
Sounds like a song from the 90s.
It could be. It could very well be a. Dang
Taylor,
it!
So Taylor, I have a question. Sorry, you're about to drop a hot.
No, I couldn't think of this band's name. Anyway, go on.
Chumbawamba, Boingo Boingo.
That's it. Boingo Boingo.
I had a feeling. I have a question for you. You need to explain something.
Okay.
To me about Pokemon Sun and Moon. I just don't understand what's going on with Alolan Doug Trio. Can you tell me about that?
So what? I haven't really looked.
You haven't
up.
seen the picture?
No. Does it have like feet or something weird?
No, like all three. I'm so disappointed. This bit is totally ruined now. You don't know what they look like.
No.
But
They're all
Olal and Dugtrio is basically, they all have like look like they're wearing a bleach blonde like surfer wig.
I think I have seen that. Yeah,
they look like Hanson.
Yeah. I think I have seen that.
They're all blonde
actually.
with different lengths of Hanson Dugtrio.
There's a bunch of really weird.
Bop.
Oh, sing it, Connor.
Sorry.
There's also the executors that look like palm trees.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
There's been a wealth of memes with those, of course.
Yeah.
For those who are meta enough to be like even seeing like Pokemon-related memes on their timelines.
Yeah.
Which if you listen to this, you probably are.
Probably seen one or two in your day.
Yeah, if you follow the fake Shigeru Miyamoto, then you've definitely seen all
Oh,
of them.
dude, that guy just posts some of the funniest stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple good ones.
For sure. But yeah, no, it looks for like a 3DS game. It's probably the best looking 3DS game as far as like just detail and color and whatnot. Obviously, the resolution's low. It's like very pixely in spots, especially like when it zooms in on characters and stuff. But yeah, I'm just having a grand old time. Haven't found anything like terribly new. Like my party's like a Growlithe, a Magnemite, a Slowpoke. So like I have mainly old stuff, but there's a couple new ones in there.
Somewhat disappointing, but that might just be what you've come across. I might have a different experience.
Yeah, like I said, I've only beat the first challenge, and there's 7, so I'm like not that far.
Because I'm one of those, like, I know so many people are like, oh man, after the original 150, Pokemon got so lame. You know, it's like everyone's like heard those guys, but like I'm kind of the opposite, where I'm like, okay, I get the freaking idea, like Charmander, Bulbasaur, like okay, fucking A. You know?
Yeah.
So I always like I want to have the new Pokemon. You know, it's new and interesting. That's what I'm into.
Yeah. Whenever I play Pokemon, my whole idea is like, okay, I want if it's a new one, I want like at least one of the new Pokemon on my team, besides the starter, right? And I just want it to look cool. I don't really have a rhyme or reason to.
Well, you want to mix up your types a little bit and have decently strong Pokemon. But you want the coolest, you know, or whatever ones you tug at your heartstrings for whatever reason.
Like I was telling, we were talking earlier. There's this one called like a Delibird, I think is what it's called, and literally it looks like a bird. It's like if Santa was a bird, that's what it would look like. And then like he only has one move. He just throws presents at people. It's like these wrapped presents, and it like explodes, and like that's all he does. It's pretty great. I'm hoping it evolves into something cooler, or like it gets some really ridiculous like powers or something. So I'm keeping it around just for curiosity. So he totally sucks right now. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but
good old smelly bird.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny how the Pokemon design and like basically all the installments is kind of like there's two different ways to like play and catch Pokemon. You could either go with like the badass Pokemon or like the cute Pokemon. It's like there's like always like seems like a viable route to go either way for whatever your tastes may be.
Well, I like that because if it's variety, you know, just Pokemon for every kind of trainer.
I remember my buddy Thomas used to, back in the day with the days of Red and Blue when they just came out, he would not evolve his Squirtle because he just liked Squirrel.
Nice.
And he like beat the game like with like a level like 60 Squirtle or
nice.
whatever. And I remember I was like really, really upset at him over it. And I got obviously.
What are you doing?
You gotta evolve your Squirtle so he gets stronger. Just like can't even comprehend that someone like.
Because don't you not get certain moves unless they evolve?
I think in some cases, but I think in most cases you get moves earlier if you don't evolve them. You just saw Dugtrio, by the way?
No, so we just did some hot research. Apparently that Delibird, all he has is that move where he throws presents.
Good old Delibird.
Is that what it's called, though? Yeah. Okay, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to get rid of him.
Friggin' Talib Quelibird.
Yep. Ookly dokley.
Neighborino.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's what I've been doing this whole game is just like picking different Pokemon up and like, oh, I've never seen that before. And I fight with them for a little bit to see if they evolve into something cool, and if not, then I get rid of them. I'm like, all right, you're back to the PC with you.
It's a meritocracy. If you don't earn your keep, you'll be thrown to the wayside.
Back to the crypt you go.
Yeah, the Pokemon crypt. I love how like by the end of any Pokemon file, if you like go into your PC storage box or whatever, and go find like all your like level 5 and 6 Pokemon from the very beginning of the game. Like open their Pokeballs, they're just all like emaciated and dying, just living in squalor. Having been
Metapod is like ultra hard right now.
Sure.
Or Weedle. No, not Weedle. What is it? What is the evolution of Weedle?
Kakuna.
Kakuna. There you go. Thank you.
Good old Kakuna.
Ba-boom.
Then Beedrill.
Yeah, Beedrill's rad, dude. It's just like a freaking wasp with like drills on his hands. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Seems like he's always looked cooler than he actually was effective.
That's very true.
But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Butterfree.
For anything that
more.
evolves into its final form at level 10, you can't exactly,
That's true.
be expecting too much.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, like Butterfree's awesome because he has, what is it, Psychic or Confuse?
Well, he's
Confused
Butterfree's
and-
only good because you get Confusion and it's like a psychic move at the beginning of the game, and then you get like Sweet Powder and Poison Powder and stuff, which is great for catching Pokemon.
Yeah.
But like as far as the stats, like you try to use a Butterfree at the end of the game, getting swatted. That's not going to fly.
For sure, yeah.
Butterfree stats suck ass.
You're going to have to get that Alakazam in there.
Exactly. You got to get some real psychic going on.
That's the hope. I have I'm hoping to get some cool psychic Pokemon. And there's an Abra. I came across an Abra quite a few times, but he just teleports immediately. So I gotta get that Great Ball just immediately or whatever. An Ultra
Ball.
Ball.
Like to do, or get a Pokemon with really high speed, which would be tough because Abras are so fast, and just like Sweet Powder them or something before.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to dig in. I'm just trying to wrap up my FF9 file so I can really get to it full force because I want to make sure I really 100% that. So Nick's signaling for me to segue seamlessly there.
Mm-hmm.
How did I do? Now I'm talking about Final Fantasy 9.
Flawless. 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I tripped on my own shoelaces there. So basically, I talked last week about my FF9 Excalibur 2 challenge, getting to the end of the game in 12 hours. And so, Taylor, you didn't mention to me about the fast forward function that they added in the PC port of Final Fantasy 9.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, normally to get to the end of the game in 12 hours to do the challenge, like you have to skip through everything, take the straightest path through every dungeon, miss a bunch of stuff just to get to the end of the game that fast,
Yeah.
And so basically with this fast forward function, you can play the game at like, I don't know, it's like double or triple speed, probably faster than double.
Yeah, I forget.
Probably triple.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, and then the game clock moves at the same speed. So like once I realized that, I actually, like a couple hours into the game, I accidentally hit that and like activated the triple speed, and I was like, what happened? Did I break it? And then I realized what was happening, so I started over, and I realized that I could basically do a complete file of the game where I get every item and like do everything, and then still get to the end of the game in under 12 hours by using that. So basically,
Wow.
I play the game like 3 times as fast as possible, but it's like I'm in fast motion the whole time, so it's just like a crazy like time trial. But that being said, I could beat the game really quickly like that. So I got Excalibur 2 on Wednesday, and no, not Wednesday, on Friday. And I got there in 11 hours and 57 minutes.
Jeez.
Barely squeezed under there. And so now, and I got every single item in every dungeon along the way. Rank S Treasure Hunter. Going to upload all my proof of this to the LHG page just for shits and giggles.
Cool.
Humble brag, humble brag.
Do it.
But yeah, that's just all this to say. My FF9 challenge is pretty much complete. I'm about to kill Ozma, like the Ruby Emerald weapon equivalent. And then I'll pretty much be wrapped up. I've learned every ability, got every blue magic, have every item.
Who is your typical final party in that game? Out of curiosity.
Well, I leveled up a specific 4 just to fight this last boss, Ozma. So it's like not the final party that I would choose, but it's just like tailored to this fight, which is Zidane, Aiko, the short girl who's also a healer, like Garnet, and then Quina.
Quina, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
because blue magic is like indispensable.
Okay.
You could use all kinds of different great moves, and then Steiner.
Okay.
But yeah,
Cool.
that's about all I got on that. Other than it was a really interesting challenge because I was expecting to just have to blaze through the game and miss all the items, which like kills me. But I was able to do my 12-hour challenge and get all the loots and just blaze through the game in record time. It was like really, really fun experience.
Nice.
Nice. What's next?
Well, I did promise I was going to do the trifecta of 7, 8, 9, just complete files on Steam. But I'm going to have to take a break. I'm kind of Final Fantasied out, so probably Pokemon next.
There you go.
Fair enough.
And then Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, exactly. So no rest for the wicked.
Can't wait for that game. So close.
I know. By the time you listen to this, 1 week.
Exactly 1 week.
Yeah, exactly 1 week. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
It's going to get delayed.
I can wait because I don't have a choice.
I can't, even though I will.
It was like literally, if you literally you can't wait, then your only option is just to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Basically.
I know. Like, if you really break down that statement, it's kind of a weird thing to say. I can't wait.
Well, if you literally can't wait, then you have to either that or just go guns blazing into some place where you could hold someone at gunpoint to get a cop,
Give me
play
that copy.
play an advanced copy of the game.
I need to push that card.
Yeah, go to the Square Enix headquarters and just
I can't wait.
armed to the teeth.
On a semi-related note, did either of you guys watch Conan O'Brien's whatever it's his little bits called?
He said what? All I saw was some headline where Conan O'Brien said, "Why would anyone ever play this game about Final Fantasy 15?"
Yeah, yeah. Because the beginning of the game, literally, it opens with you pushing the car. He's like, "We're pushing a car," and they just got to all these boring parts, and they were like, "What is happening?" And they cut to this part where they're fighting this giant behemoth monster thing, and then his little co-host or his producer is like, yeah, this takes 72 real life hours to beat or whatever. And he's like, why would anybody do this? So you want to talk about your Ruby Emerald Weapon challenge, that'll be your challenge, to just sit there for 3 straight days fighting this boss.
Oh man, Conan O'Brien's asking for the knuckle sandwich challenge. Totally kidding, but that just goes to show that a lot of the concept of a video game as a story or kind of analogous to being a book is a completely alien concept to most people.
Oh yeah, you can't pick up an RPG and figure it out in 5 minutes. You have to just sit there and get invested.
Think of it like a book that you're holding a controller while you read it,
right.
And it's that concept is just the people have never thought about that.
Right.
They're when you play a game, you pick it up and you start shooting stuff, or you're competing, trying to put the ball through the hoop or whatever. It's no, sometimes you can do other stuff.
Exactly.
More complicated stuff.
Exactly. We got to explain that to people.
No, let those nerds figure it out for themselves.
Oh, okay.
More for us.
That's nice.
JK.
Yeah, so I've been playing Legend of Legaia because I got to beat it before Final Fantasy 15.
Of course.
And Connor said I should get the Soul.
Well, no, it's the Tower of Soul.
Tower of Soul. And
I was just saying that was one of my favorite parts of the game.
And I've got to the Tower of Soul. And it was really fun. It was fun. I enjoyed the mini games, especially the Baka Fighter.
Oh yeah, it's like the Street Fighter mini game, basically, right?
It's rock paper scissors, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
a fancier version.
Yeah, and it's funny because it just says idiot fighter. That's what it means.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's what Baka means. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
It was like Baka Fighter.
3 buttons. Take your pick, idiot. That's hilarious.
If you really think about it, the fighting game at the Gold Saucer is kind of like that too. It's just high, low,
100%,
mid, or whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
And there's a dancing mini game and a arena. There's an arena.
Of course there is.
Man. Oh, it's so funny. I was playing FF7 with the controller plugged in, USB controller, and had a turbo function. So I was doing the arm wrestling mini game with the Gold Saucer. Just instant win.
Eat that,
I was
sumo man.
Oh, man. I'm
how much GP do you get from that thing?
This is a moral. I don't remember. It was a really inconsequential amount. I was pretty much just doing it to make myself laugh.
Okay. Yeah, because the best way to make GP is probably a submarine game, right?
No, you just trade Gil for GP. It's outside the entrance.
I guess as far as just pure playing a game at Gold Saucer.
I don't know. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay. Well, welp.
So I got to the top of the tower, and then I fought the old man, and then I was like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to do? So I actually had to go to a guy.
You beat the old man?
Beat the old man.
You did it, Goku. You did it, Vaughn. That's his name,
That's his name. And I found a guide to tell me what to do. So I had to buy a bunch of bread to put in these chests.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I got that far in that game.
And And there's like, oh, you don't have to buy it you don't have to grind and buy it with the money. You just do the first. You get the
Baka fighter or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you get 40,000 gold,
Which is in that game just
a
a
lot.
metric fuck ton.
Yeah, and you go to a kid that's in a warehouse and you buy the life grail.
Yes.
So I got the
that thing is so good.
I got the life grail, and then you did the arena. What the life grail does, it automatically heals you for I don't know a certain percentage
after every turn.
every turn.
Oh wow, nice.
In that game too, like that having that mechanic on your side just like makes
Forever regen.
makes
Nice.
impossible battles possible.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, and I just beat the arena, got enough
You
gold.
have to fight Zane at the end.
Yeah,
right?
Zane at the
Oh
end.
my
I
God.
did it before, but I had to do it again
Mhm.
with. I almost died at the first time because I ran out of MP and I couldn't heal anymore.
Oh yeah, then you're.
And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna attack. He did the bullhorn. He did the bull charge. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna attack and hopefully I win. And I won. I'm like, yes.
Those are the best victories, man. It seems like PS1 RPGs always had the most of those, where it's just like you've exhausted all your resources. There's one guy left alive, and you got like 3 more turns where you could just basic attack before you just die. And you get him with like the last basic attack. Yeah. Final stand.
Nothing more epic.
Especially in like if you do an FF7 because you get the epic boss death sound. It's like.
Yeah, you have time to relish in your victory.
Oh, that time you're just doing furious like Guido like in the club fist pumps. Just, yes. Jersey Shore style.
Oh yeah, or it reminds me of like in Dark Souls or Bloodborne when you finally beat one of those bosses that's prey slaughtered, and there's like this gong that goes off. I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Just instantly feel the blood rushing to one area.
But yeah. So that's what I did. I finished that tower, and now I'm like, okay, I think I got to go to conquer him now. And
Yep, conquer 'em. That's right. Yeah, you're getting pretty close, but dude, there's a couple areas like near the end of the game where it's just a couple of the boss fights are just insane. Like I think I talked about one of them in our craziest boss fights like episode, like probably feels like ages ago now.
Mm-hmm.
This is one guy Koru in the Valley of Noru.
mm-hmm.
Hold on to your butts when you get to that one.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, that's what I'm gonna be playing after this episode. So
Boom. Yeah, I'll probably chill a little bit because it's rainy. You know.
yeah, rainy and now I'm gonna do a 10 out of 10 segue. It is rainy, and rainy days are perfect binging days.
2 out of 10
Yeah.
segue.
Awesome.
Mine was a 1, but yours was a 2.
So our main topic of the day is what is our favorite JRPG binge game?
God damn.
Words
Jesus Christ.
difficult.
I thought I said it, and then I'm like, wait, no, I didn't say it.
Um,
I bet you're murder in a job interview.
the
Just
best.
kidding. So you said JRPG binge games, but I'm going to throw up the double birds on this one. And because my favorite rainy day binge games actually oftentimes are not JRPGs. Many times they are, but often they are not. One game that comes to mind is Tactics, but I'm not going to say that just because it's like, yeah, it's fun to binge good games, obviously.
Yeah.
But specifically rainy days, I like old school platformers. I'm going to throw out a couple like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Mega Man X, X2, X3, all huge. Mega Man Legends was obviously that was a great one.
Yep.
But also, I wanted to throw a shout out to Diablo 2 for all the hours I've wasted on that one. Nick had one guess for what I might say for this topic before, and he said Diablo, and he was 100% right.
Yeah, I know you that well.
And I tried to throw you off the scent, but I could tell you knew that you were right.
Wasn't having none of it.
But yeah, I love the feeling of just. I think the thing with old school platformers is like a really fun binge. A lot of times, like you can get to the end of a game, you know, and it's like if you try to crack open a JRPG, you get to like maybe the end of like disc 1, and you're like, shit, like my thumbs hurt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're playing like an old school platformer like that, like you can get to the last boss in one healthy binge with friends.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I just like since it's like rainy and you can't really do anything. Well, as an adult, sometimes you have the day off and it's raining, you can't really do anything outside.
Right,
And you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna plow through a lot of the JRPG that I'm going through.
Yeah. That's always good too. Ooh, Armored Core is a big one too. I guess it's just games that like don't really get old if you start a file. Like, I don't know, Armored Core is one of those games you just fly through from the beginning to the end.
Gotta find all those parts. Man,
my thing is I just gotta shoot everyone in the arena in the face. But
that is true. Yeah,
that's me.
Matthias.
Yeah,
you had the bug Matthias to beat him, or we at first.
Back when we were playing the game in high school, we probably did. I bet I could probably beat him straight up now.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least using minimal trickery. But that's not a JRPG, so I'm going to get struck by lightning. So Taylor, want to take over?
You think of a JRPG, and we'll go to Taylor.
Oh, I'll think of one.
I think this is, if we had a Venn diagram of game genres, I think this would cross paths with a JRPG. But I'm going to say Harvest Moon.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a fun game to binge because it's one of those games where you can kind of set your own pace, right? It's not like, oh, I got to do this. There's like this, oh, that part of the game that's annoying. It's like, well, you can make it as annoying or unannoying as you want. Like, you can grow your farm however you want. You can, talk to the townsfolk as much as you want. And for me specifically, it's Back to Nature, the PS1 game, is my favorite. Just those characters, that town, like the flow of that game, like I just know it like the back of my hand. I kind of time to go to the forest, chop some wood, get the little acorns.
Time to get the girl the weed.
Yeah, there's
Excuse me?
There's a girl with pink hair in the game. Her name's Potpourri, and if you pick up weeds from the ground, she actually likes them, and everybody else thinks they're like disgusting, but she's like kind of an airhead.
I wonder what they're trying to say.
Yeah,
Not an airhead. She just smokes weed, man.
that maybe that's it. I never thought of it that way.
Exactly. I mean, her eyes are red.
They are. Yeah, that.
Wow.
Oh my
guys
God,
are-
we're
you guys
kind
are
of having a
clueless.
revelation right now.
You guys are clueless. Oh my god.
But like I remember like when I bought this game for the very first time, it was me and a buddy. I was visiting him on the East Coast, and we just went to a game store and picked it up, and it was a rainy day, and we just played it like all day and all night. And we got to like some of the festivals, and like, man, I've never played a game like this before. So it was just really fun to binge a game like that. And in a similar vein, I would say Persona 4 as well, because it's a game where you set your own pace. You can like, oh, I'm just going to dungeon crawl or do a bunch of social link stuff. And the whole, crux of that game is like, okay, when it's a rainy day, that means it's over. So it's kind of interesting to kind of tie it in that way.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Persona 4.
Solid list.
Golden, specifically.
You know what
Stay
ruined?
gold, pony goat.
You know what
Pony boy? Goy?
ruined Harvest Moon for me? Rune Factory.
Yeah, Rune Factory is a little bit better. Well, it depends.
It depends.
It's like
It has-
Harvest Moon with combat.
Yeah, it's Harvest Moon with like dungeon crawling.
Yeah, I'm sold. Sorry.
It was like 3 and 4 because 2 is not that good, or it was good back then, but it's super archaic now.
Also, shout out to Tides of Destiny on PS3, which not a lot of people know about, but it's good. It's the best looking by far, I would say. It's not like stuck on a handheld. It looks nice.
I do like to binge me some Rune Factory on a rainy day. It reminds me of times.
Have you played a lot of Tides of Destiny, speaking of which?
I have not touched that game.
Okay, you should try
The
it.
only reason is because it's on a console. Right? Like Rune Factory feels like
on
a
a handheld.
handheld.
You can just sit in bed and just get all cozy. And
Yeah.
I hear you.
I'll try. I mean, I bought Rune Factory Frontier, which is a Wii game, and I've never touched it. I just wanted it. I was like, it's another Rune Factory game. I guess gotta
That
get it.
makes sense. Not.
I have so many games that have done that, though. I have so many games in my collection that I have not played, but I just own.
Rip to your wallet.
Yeah, back.
Cue
Rip and pepperoni.
Tactics death sound.
It's a great sound.
AKA the new Connor's swearing sound.
And a lot of people like it.
Well, what? When I swear? Great.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Uh,
But yeah, my binging game, to be honest, I don't really know. I used to binge Tales of Destiny because it hasn't really been like a stormy. We're in California and there hasn't been really like a storm, like a real storm that's rained like for like a week. It only like whenever it does rain, it's only like for like a day.
mhm.
It's rained for 2 days in a row, which is like amazing for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Droughts are weird.
Yeah. So back in the day when it used to rain a lot, I used to binge just Tales of Destiny. Just put it on, start it up, and go as far as I can until the storm's over. It's just a fun because I've had multiple memories with my friends, just going over to their houses and just playing. I mean, Can you imagine just playing a JRPG with your friends, just watching? I mean, we're just all one person playing one game, and we're all there just enjoying the experience. It's just a good time that we don't have that much anymore.
Yeah, it's been a long time since that phenomenon occurred.
Yeah, I remember doing that a lot with actually Connor's brother Dallas. We used to do that a lot with Final Fantasy VII, and I have a lot of fond memories with Legend of Dragoon. Do that with Legend of Dragoon. Just that's kind of how you used to play, right? There was one TV that you'd gather around. You either trade it off or like, oh, let me show you my file, and you play for like an hour, and then you pop in your other memory card and stuff like that. So
I always enjoyed when we were playing like a platform or more switching friendly game, because then it's only minutes before we're like doing kung fu to like try to determine who gets to play next.
Sure, or Tony Hawk or Cool Borders 2 was a big one for us.
Putting each other's heads through the wall.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really play against you guys with Cool Borders 2. I only played like at home.
That's probably good that you didn't.
Did someone die?
You kept your self-respect.
Oh.
I took Taylor's away.
I don't remember too much of the multiplayer of that game. I just remember doing like the trick runs. Like there's just one level where it's literally like it's almost like you're going straight down on like this black mountain. I'm like,
I remember that one. What's the name of that? I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's a point where there's a bridge. Like 2/3 of the way through the level, and like the chasm that the bridge is over is like dark brown because it's a cliff, and the bridge is like dark brown.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm
so you're
snowboarding
just flying
on.
down this tiny like shittily rendered like dark patch of snow, and then all of a sudden you're just careening off a cliff.
I remember like that song. I always thought it was super funny because the song on that stage, the guy's like, "Good God" or something like that.
Yeah, that was
it's like the super heavy, like just hair metal.
Yeah,
or
where it's just like super lo-fi, like music in the background. It's like yeah, just I can barely hear it. It's like shitty, like CRT TV speakers, like PS1 quality audio.
Oh yeah, and then like at the very very end, there's like this, like the last just run of the game is like all it is basically just a giant ramp, and you do like a 1920 off it or whatever.
Yeah, the sound of your guy flying through the air is like it's got a helicopter.
And then like if you don't time it right, you just land straight on his head.
Yeah. You should be able to just die in that game.
That would be amazing. Just like it's a corpse with like blood coming out.
Throw Tony Hawk in there too. Just like try to do a transfer from one half pipe to another and hit the concrete and just die and your file's erased. The guy just cracks his head open and it's a tragedy.
All right, well, time to start over.
Role playing Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
You fall so badly you have to stop and delete your file.
Then the next chapter of career mode, because that's not the end. The next chapter is you play another skater, and you're skating doing benefit shows to pay for that guy's funeral.
There you go.
And then you die.
It's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah. I was just in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3, just how much you bleed when you fall. It's just like a murder scene. It's way too much. But let's reel it back a little bit.
I love when we get off topic like this. That was
back
great.
to some JRPG-ness.
Try to reel me in, see what happens.
All right.
Get over here and try.
Reaching over right now.
I'm about to pedigree you through this table.
So, have you thought of a JRPG that you would like to binge when it's raining?
Oh, yeah, totally. I remember a great one. A couple years back, I played with Casey, actually. It was Lunar 2. It's just
classic.
It's great because it's one that if you start a file and you haven't played it in a long, long time, it'll just suck you in and not let you go. And you can get pretty damn far in that game if you put your mind to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, because the two Lunar games aren't like 50-hour epics. They're like relatively short.
Well, they're pretty long.
The first one is not.
The first one's pretty short. I don't know about the second one.
The second one is long.
Okay.
I think I've mentioned this like on podcast long ago too, but there's the epilogue to that game too.
Oh, okay.
That's like 15 more hours, like 4 more just end game level dungeons.
Jeez.
So if you're a glutton for punishment, Lunar 2.
You own that, right, Taylor? I know Connor does.
Yeah, I have both Lunar 1 and 2. The one I beat for was the Lunar remake on PSP, which is a little more streamlined and it looks a little better. But yeah, that's the one I played.
I played the PS1 one and the PSP one.
I know we talked about this before, but I would love to have a Lunar 3. Just
Yeah.
good old school classic.
Especially with games like I Am Setsuna and stuff that are kind of like mimicking old style RPGs. You could envision a universe where it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's a
can.
market
Just
for it.
make sure it's not rushed like Grandia 3. Same company.
Do it well.
Do it well. Do it good. Well, that's going to be... Oh, you got something to say?
No.
You
want to fight?
No, I'm done talking to you.
All right.
I'm absolutely
Let's fight.
finished. You son of a bitch!
Okay.
And the mic actually fell out of the holder.
me.
And the mic
Got a little out of pocket there.
But that will be it for this week's Giant Sword podcast. Thank you for listening. If you like what you've listened to, please subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. Leave a comment on YouTube if you have a question. If you actually want to ask a question for us to answer on podcast, email us at AskGiantSword@gmail.com.
Or comment anything. Leave us a review because we don't have too many of those, and those would be really interesting to just help us try to improve the quality of the podcast for you, the listeners.
Yep. And next week shall be our PSX week because that's very soon. It's going to be awesome. And then...
Woo!
Are we going to be recording at PSX?
I was debating like just bringing like one of the mics and just kind of doing like a wrap up. We might even do 2 that week because that'll be the podcast after Final Fantasy 15 comes out.
Exactly.
That's right, baby.
So we might do 2. I mean, I don't want to promise anything, but like we almost might have to do 2 or something. You know what I mean?
All we need to do is bring my Yeti and we can
Or
do
like
it.
a mini PSX wrap up or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Brace yourselves.
And
By the way, do you guys think I should? Sorry, do you guys think I should do my? I should wear my Red 13 cosplay to PSX?
you have to walk on all 4s though. That's the only way you can.
Well, that's the cosplay, dude.
Well,
That's how it
then
works.
yeah,
Yeah, you got it.
totally.
All right, sweet. See you guys there.
Sweet. And in the words of our good friend Barrett Wallace, there ain't no getting off this train we own.
That's right.